When I married Jason, I thought I was the luckiest woman alive. He was charming, ambitious, the kind of man who could light up a room with just his smile. I believed him when he said I was the only one he'd ever love. For years, I poured myself into our marriage, supporting his career, running our home, and making sacrifices so he could chase his dreams. But the cracks began to show in ways I couldn't ignore. Late nights at the office, business trips that didn't add up, his phone, always locked, always turned face down. When I asked, he brushed it off. "You're imagining things, babe. Don't stress." And like a fool, I believed him until the truth fell into my lap. One evening, while doing laundry, I found a lipstick-stained napkin in his pocket. Scrawled across it were words that shattered me. "Last night was perfect. Can't wait to see you again." It felt like the floor disappeared under my feet. My husband, the man I trusted with everything, was sneaking around with someone else. I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I smiled, cooked his dinners, kissed him goodnight, all while digging deeper. I checked his phone when he slipped up, followed him on one of the so-called business dinners. And sure enough, there she was, a younger woman, hanging on his arm, laughing like she'd won some prize. I stayed hidden, my heart breaking into 1,000 pieces, but my mind clear. If he thought he could betray me and get away with it, he was dead wrong. I collected evidence, screenshots of texts, photos of their hotel meetups, even recordings of his late-night calls. I built a case, not for a courtroom, but for something far more humiliating: exposure. The chance came on his birthday. He threw a big party at our house. Family, friends, colleagues, all there to celebrate him. He was basking in the attention, playing the role of the perfect husband. When the time came to cut the cake, I stepped forward. My hands didn't shake. My voice didn't waver. Before we celebrate, I said, "There's something everyone here deserves to know about Jason." I grabbed the remote and hit play. The TV screen lit up with proof of his betrayal. Pictures, texts, videos. Gasps filled the room. His mother turned away. His friends muttered in shock, and his co-workers looked like they'd seen a ghost. Jason's face drained of color. He stammered, tried to deny it, but the evidence was undeniable. "This," I said, staring straight at him, "is the man who vowed to love me, honor me, and stay faithful. This is what he did instead." And then I put down the remote, walked past him, and left. The fallout was immediate. His business deals tanked. His reputation took a beating, and the other woman vanished the second his life unraveled. I filed for divorce and never looked back. It wasn't easy, but I learned something important. Revenge isn't always about hurting someone back. Sometimes it's about standing tall, showing the truth, and walking away stronger than you were before. Jason thought he broke me, but in reality, he handed me the power to become someone new, someone who would never again settle for lies. The broken wife was gone. The stronger woman was just beginning. In the months that followed, I rebuilt my life piece by piece. The divorce papers were signed, his calls went unanswered, and the silence in my home finally felt peaceful instead of lonely. Jason tried to apologize, to spin his story, even to win me back when the walls of his perfect image came crashing down. But I wasn't the same woman anymore. The version of me that once believed his every word was gone. My revenge wasn't just exposing him in front of everyone who thought he was untouchable. It was proving that I could rise without him. Stronger, smarter, free. He'll spend the rest of his life remembered as the man who lost it all because he couldn't stay true. And me, I'll be remembered as the woman who turned betrayal into power. The broken wife? She's gone for good. The survivor, the warrior, that's who I am now. In the months after I exposed Jason, everything changed. People who once looked up to him now saw him for what he truly was: a liar, a cheater, a man with no loyalty. His colleagues distanced themselves. His family couldn't even defend him. And the so-called other woman disappeared the moment his world began to collapse. Meanwhile, I started to heal. It wasn't instant. There were nights when the emptiness of my bed felt like a cruel punishment. Mornings when I woke up and forgot for a second that my marriage was over. But every day, I reminded myself that I had survived something most women would break under. I wasn't weak. I was a fighter. I poured my energy into myself. I went back to school, reconnected with old friends, and finally started the small business I had once shelved for his dreams. Every step I took away from him was a step closer to the woman I was always meant to be. Jason tried, of course. He called, texted, even showed up at my door once, begging for forgiveness. He swore he had made a mistake, that he still loved me, that we could fix things. But I looked him straight in the eye and told him, the man I married is dead, and the man standing in front of me, I don't even know who he is. Then I closed the door. My revenge wasn't in screaming or dragging him through endless fights. My revenge was in living well, in making sure he saw me rise higher than he ever imagined. Without him, I became stronger, happier, freer, and I made sure the world knew exactly why. The woman who once cried on the floor over a lipstick-stained napkin was gone. The woman who now stood tall, unbroken and unafraid, had taken her place. Jason will forever live in the shadow of his choices, remembered as a husband who betrayed and lost everything. But me? I'll forever be the woman who turned pain into power, heartbreak into strength, and betrayal into freedom. The broken wife didn't just survive. She won,